Hi, my name is Sophie Wright, and this is my video application for the Faye W. Whitney School of Nursing. A meaningful experience that happened recently, both in my personal life and my school life, was when I was selected to be a recipient of the Trustee Scholarship Award at University of Wyoming. So this was a pretty long process. It first started off by me applying to the school and then reviewing my test scores and grades and my transcript overall. And then I had to create a resume and get recommendations, and also answer some essay questions. Then from there I had to do an online interview, and then finally I went to the University of Wyoming campus in Laramie and had in-person interviews. So it was a very long process, and I think it exemplifies my enthusiasm for learning because this wasn't an easy thing to happen. I had to persevere all throughout my high school career to maintain the good grades, and then through the actual interviews as well, I had to, of course, that was something pretty difficult. It's with people you don't know, and so I had to prepare a lot for that, mentally, as well as just preparing answers without it seeming forced or scripted or anything like that. And so I was one of 100 students to get selected for that, and so that of course is something that I'm very thankful for, but that definitely took a lot of ambition. I think that nursing is the profession for me because I love helping other people. I also have always loved learning about health science, learning about the body. So I love helping others, and I also am very empathetic. I have one older cousin, but I'm the oldest sister. And so all my sister's younger than me, as well as I have several cousins who are younger than me. And I've always had them looking up to me. And so I've always been kind of like the mediator and things, and I've always been the one helping take care of them. Especially right now I have a 2-year-old little cousin. And so I kind of help babysit her all the time. And I am currently in a class at my high school to get my CNA license. And so I've had one shift so far at a long-term care facility. And so while I was there, of course, you have to keep in mind these people's, even though they are older and they may, not fully be with it, they've had a whole life that they've lived, and they usually are someone's, parent or someone's loved one. So you really just have to keep that in mind. Like, how would you want someone treating you or your family member or loved one? And so I really always try to put myself in other people's shoes and, never judge a book by its cover, of course, and really just try and look past just the physical signs to really figure out what is going wrong, and always give the best care. But the main thing, of course, beyond the hard skills you have to have is the soft skills. So just have very good listening skills, and I've always been told that everyone always comes to me to tell me things because I always do really listen to what they say and try to give the best advice possible for their specific situation. And then of course I just love helping other people as well, and it's a very rewarding career. A time that I worked as a part of a highly diverse team was last school year, my junior year of high school. I was one of the officers for my school's beta club. So I was the junior class representative, but I think in total we had maybe about 7 or 8 officers. Each class had a representative, and then of course we had president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And so as part of this group, we all of course were at different grades, but we all also came from different ethnical backgrounds, and it was a very diverse group of students. We were voted by our classmates into a position, but all of us having these different, we also all have different goals that we want to accomplish in life. We were all very different from each other, but we of course had the common goal that we wanted to help our school community. But all of us coming from different backgrounds and having different opinions and thoughts for things really helped us be able to make decisions that would be great for the group. Because if it was only one person or very similar people all coming up with decisions, it wouldn't really be able to reflect the group as a whole. So with there being people, different experience levels, ethnical backgrounds, ages, we were able to kind of combine all of our ideas together and come up with compromises that could really help the whole entire group. And of course, we didn't always agree 100% on everything, but that's why it was important for us to have these like meetings and grow together and become close friends. So that way we really could always have, of course, the club as a whole in mind and do what was best for everyone and not just for ourselves. The time that I did not agree with the decision made by my parents was over this past summer. I moved from Tennessee to Wyoming, and so of course moving not just schools but really across the whole entire country right before your senior year is never something easy or fun to do. So I approached this with as open of a mind as possible. Obviously, it was not ideal for me to leave all my friends. I had gone to school with these people my whole entire life, and I was very used to it. So I just had to, be as open-minded as possible. Of course, my parents had good reasonings for it. And so I just had to really respect and understand that. And the outcome, of course, is now I'm like halfway through my senior year, and it's going really great. Of course, I miss my friends back home, but I still communicate with them. And I honestly, at this school, have learned a lot more than I did at my school in Tennessee because of the smaller classes and the just smaller school population in general. So even though it was not very ideal and not ever something that I would have thought of to happen, I just had to stay as open-minded and just keep my eye on the positives. Of course, there were many things that went on that were not positive, happy things for me. But instead of focusing on that, I just, had to come here as open to make friends and build connections with, my peers and teachers. And of course, college is really my next big thing. So focusing on that while also trying to just, live in the moment and embrace the changes. Finally, I was faced with a situation that challenged my confidence and sense of assurance very recently this past weekend at my CNA clinical shift at the long-term care facility, as I brought up earlier. I actually only got through about half of this shift because I have the condition POTS, where my heart rate rises and my blood pressure drops whenever I'm standing up for too long. So, this was my first clinical shift, and of course I was very excited to actually be in that type of setting and be able to actually use the skills that I've been learning this whole school year when it comes to being a CNA. And they started off very well. I, for the most part, was shadowing another CNA, but I was able to do a feeding on a dependent patient, and I was very proud of myself for how that happened, that I was able to not just do the skill well in the classroom, but actually on a patient as well. And I was learning a whole lot. It was going really great. And then, again, about halfway through, right before we were about to take our lunch break, I was helping the CNA give a resident a shower. And so we were in the big shower room. I, again, was mostly just observing. So I was just standing there for this whole shower. And I kind of started getting the feeling, I've had lots of episodes before because of my POTS where I never have actually passed out, but I've felt very close to it. I just get kind of hot and dizzy. But I usually am able to either sit down or, drink some water and get things back going well. But in this situation, that was not an option for me. So I started just getting very hot, sweaty, dizzy, and I did end up passing out. And that was pretty embarrassing for me. I guess I was tossed out for about a minute or two. I hit my head so hard the people in the hallway heard me. And they said I was drooling. I was so confused and pale. And that made me kind of question my confidence because I was supposed to be showing off my skills and things that I've learned. But instead, these people were having to stop what they were doing and take care of me. So, of course, with this, I went and saw the doctor. And I've spoken with my teacher, and we're going to make as many arrangements as we need to so that the clinicals can still go well for me. I can still learn, but I also am going to have to advocate for myself if I start feeling things like this. So even though it was embarrassing and made me kind of question how good of a CNA and nurse I can be, because of my health conditions. I just have to realize that, there are so many people with health conditions that they just don't let that limit them. I really have to just put myself first, prioritize my own health before I can be taking care of other people's health. So that is something that I'm working on currently, and hopefully we will have all resolved and figured out very soon.